How long could it take for US production to get back on its feet once the storm is past?
Well, history shows that what the U.S. oil industry is great at is overcoming adversity, and I think that if you look back at previous hurricanes that have hit the region, excluding Katrina, the industry is pretty resilient. It is designed and built to absorb these sort of supply disruption events. Year to date, there's been approximately 67,000 barrels a day of oil production lost in the region as a consequence of hurricanes, and that's the assessment by S&P Global Platts analytics. As I say, we're still at the beginning of this. Normally, the peak is mid-September, but the industry there is pretty resilient. I just bring it back again to this stockpiles issue. How much does this really impact what is a huge overhang in global stocks?
Andy, certainly take your point about the resilience of the energy market, given what we've seen in the past. The big question, I think, then is, will Laura cause lasting damage to refineries or pipelines? So my question is, if we do see permanent damage to some of these structures, some of these pipelines, would we then see a more dramatic shift higher in the oil price?
I think it's hard to see that. I think it's hard to see that this is an event that could push, as well beyond $50 a barrel, for example. We're mid-40s at the moment. A lot of that action has actually come off the inventory draw. There are signs that actually demand, organic demand in the US is continuing to rebound at a healthy tick. If you look at just the consequences so far, we've had roughly 2.23 million barrels a day of capacity from several Texas and Louisiana refineries shut in as a consequence of this. There's probably going to be more. And you've got to look at the financial state of the refiners at the moment and the operators. This is not a good time for the industry. The industry's coming out of, a very tough 6 months where we've had, huge price volatility. We've had real rock bottoms in terms of the oil price, real concerns over demand. So, financially, these operators are not in a great state at the moment. Does that mean that they sort of delay refurb work that will come from this? Do they reschedule the speed at which they will bring these plants back on stream? Of course, you were only going to bring that capacity back if you've got the demand to support it. Yeah, we've had a bit of a rebound. You saw that in inventories, but still, the US industry, the global industry, has got a long way to go before it sees the sunlit uplands of strong, robust demand. We're going to look towards end of 2021, 22 before we start to see that demand growth coming back.